Yo, welcome back to another video, guys. As always, I am reminding you to like and subscribe. Smash that sub button, turn on notifications and select all so you never miss an upload. Like yesterday's upload on the Antiope, a bunch of you missed it. If you didn't see it, go and check it out. But in today's video, we're looking at the Duality, and today's video is more of a discussion. Now that Duality has been buffed, and this was actually the first video that I did at the start of this season. My first video was covering the buff to Duality. So if you want to know all the nitty gritty details, you want to go check that video out. In this video, we're actually just going to be talking about a direct comparison now. Now, once again, last season I did the same video talking about Duality versus Chaperone, but at that point, Chaperone was heads and shoulders above Duality in my opinion. Of course, that was before it got buffed. Now that Duality has been buffed, I think the conversation is not quite as simple as it was before, you know, as simple as that guy lagging really hard, you know. Now we have a real tricky decision here to decide which is the better weapon out of the two. Now, Duality, obviously it's different to Chaperone. Chaperone is just a pure slug shotgun. It shoots in the head for one shot and it kills from really far, you know. It has insane range. The range with the Chaperone is 13 meters, but when you activate Roadborne, it goes all the way up to 16 meters. Now, what is the Duality's range looking like? Well, the base range of the Duality is 12.5 meters, so it's basically the same as the Chaperone's base range. Now, of course, you can't extend out the range with an insane perk like Roadborne on Duality. You do have the On Black Wing exotic perk, but I do feel the design of that perk means it's not very useful in PvP. Why is that? Well, okay, so if you guys don't know what the perk does, On Black Wings basically procs when you get a hipfire kill with the Duality. If you get a buckshot kill, On Black Wings procs, and that means your next ADS slug shot is going to do more damage, and you can continue to increase the damage and duration of the perk by getting headshot kills with the slug shotty on the Duality. But here's the thing with the weapon and why you won't ever really see that perk being used too much in PvP. On Black Wings also increases the reload speed of the weapon. Now what happens is you get a hipfire kill, you pick up special, it's probably time to reload. As soon as you reload, the On Black Wing perk is gone. It's no longer a thing, and you can't take advantage of it in PvP. Now obviously in PvE, when you're racking up special ammo for days and you're killing adds, you can stack that perk continuously. But like I said, in PvP, basically every time you get a hipfire kill, you're probably going to reload, unless you've got loads of ammo stocked up in advance. And you know, it's just a situational thing. You really don't want to be going for hipfire kills with Duality if you can help it. It's kind of like an in case of emergency type of option. But if you guys are interested though to know the number for the hipfire range, it's 7 meters. That's right, you can hipfire up to 7 meters. Now you got to bear in mind with buckshot, it's very RNG, and obviously when you're testing it against a stationary target, and you know you can figure out what the range is. But when someone's moving around, when you're moving around and you're in the middle of a fight, you're not always going to get 7 meter kill distance. That being said, the hipfire feels significantly better now than it did before because of that buff. And obviously with that base range for the slug shot at 12.5 meters, you're basically looking at, you know, it's got the same range as base Chaperone, and it can kill in one shot to the body with hipfire. So when you add those two things together, you have a weapon that it offers what the Chaperone does, but then it obviously comes with a twist in that, yeah, when someone gets right in your face, you know, unless you hit that very difficult headshot, you actually have a chance to get the kill. You can see there, right there, it's not necessarily very reliable, but when you are like right up next to someone, it will kill them. And Chaperone will never do that for you. Unless, of course, you have something like Weapons of Light going, and then, yeah, you can get a kill with a body shot with the Chaperone. But I do believe Weapons of Light is the only damage buff in the game that allows you to one-shot to the body. I think maybe you could do it in a Well of Radiance, but you know, I don't play Well of Radiance, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, the Chaperone and the Duality, there's definitely a real discussion to be had now. Now, which is a better weapon overall? It's hard, it's real hard to say now. You know what really factors into your decision now is what weapons do you want to pair with your shotgun? Do you want to pair some, you know, kinetic primary weapons like the Steady Hand or the True Prophecy, for example, or the Time-Worn Spire? Then Duality is your winner. Do you want to use something like the Igneous Hammer or the Bottom Dollar? Then Chaperone is the winner. But when it comes to a direct comparison between the two guns, I think the best way to describe it would be, obviously the Chaperone is still the king of slug shotguns. Okay guys, it can kill in one shot at 16 meters. You know, that no other shotgun can come close to that. That includes the Duality. So if you are a headshot with shotgun type of guy, and you're always playing at the correct distances, and you're always hitting your shots, then Chaperone is still better. But if you're a little bit more erratic, a little bit more aggressive, and a little bit, you know, random in your approach, and you want something a little bit more versatile, then at this point Duality is the better weapon than Chaperone. It's a real hard choice to make at this point. It's not set in stone. It's not Chaperone is clearly better. And to be fair, it's not Duality is clearly better. But with that base range being the same, I don't know, man. If I really had to win a game, I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it was my choice, I'm still gonna pick Chaperone. I have thousands upon thousands of hours with that gun. It's actually ridiculous how many hours I've probably spent using that weapon at this point. So when push comes to shove, I would still choose a Chaperone, especially knowing that I personally can consistently take advantage of that 16-meter kill range, because I know the range inside out, I know the range of my opponent's weapons, and I can just take advantage of it with ease. But if you're maybe new to slug shotguns and you've never used a slug shotty before, I would say Duality's heads and shoulders above Chaperone in that sense, because Duality has fantastic range, but it also has that forgiveness with the hip fire. So if you're in a bad spot, you can just hip fire your way out of trouble. Also, another thing to bear in mind as well is, technically speaking, the hip fire accuracy on the Duality is pretty good in the air. So it actually has better in-air accuracy than the Chaperone when hip firing. Now when slug shotting, it's basically the same as the Chaperone. I actually did a video a couple of days ago going over how to make the Chaperone accurate in the air. If you go watch that video, you can apply the same logic to the Duality and it's basically the same. But obviously, like I said, buckshot is not hit with those inner accuracy penalties as hard as slug shots. So if you're in the air and someone's really close to you, you can guaranteed hip fire them for the kill. And that's something that the Chaperone simply cannot offer you. So there are pros and cons to both. If I had to pick one, I would probably still go with the Chaperone. But it really does come down to the player now in terms of preference. And I think that's a really good thing. I was so excited when Duality got put in the game. And I really enjoyed the weapon from day one. But it needed a little buff, and Bungie obliged and gave it that little buff that it needed, and now it's just an absolutely fantastic weapon in PvP. And if you haven't tried it, go and give it a go. You will definitely enjoy it. It could be your gateway into slug shotgunning. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.